Hello and welcome to the TCF morning show. Things are a little different today. It's me, Boomy. I'm hosting. We got Matt here today at schools_01. You can find me on Twitter at BoomyTCF. It is November 16th, Monday morning. Like you can tell, Zach is not here. The normal host is not here, so I'm doing my best to fill in. I can't guarantee anything, but our thoughts are with Zach. He's got some he's talked about it many times. He's got some wisdom teeth issues. So we're going to take over the show for the night. We're going to make it quick. We got a quick week 10 recap of the entire NFL. We're going to talk a little bit of Masters. And, of course, I have that wacky web story for us. So we'll make sure you check out our sponsors, 26shirts.com, Chicago. Head to their website, 26shirts.com/Chicago. Promo code typical Chicago fans for shirts, hoodies, hats, flags, whatever you need. It's the best fitting Chicago merchandise I've ever bought. I got a shirt right here. I got about 5 more of them sitting right over there. But they're the best ones I own. They help out good causes, and they help support the podcast. So help us help you get some great merch. Go to their website. Christmas is coming up. It's a perfect time to stockpile, order, whatever you need, hats, hoodies, shirts, flags for that Chicago fan in your life. Use promo code typical Chicago fans for 15% off. I personally guarantee you that whoever you get this for is going to love it because they're great products and they're great people. Like I said, 26shirts.com/Chicago, promo code typical Chicago fans. Make sure you follow the main page at typical_Chicago. Head to Facebook, Instagram, type in typical Chicago fans. You can find us there. YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the page there for all of our content in video form. We've recently got our hands on a drone, so me and Zach are going to be working on some video. God knows one of us might lose a finger, but at least it'll be video footage.
This has got Trevor Bauer written all
yes.
One of you two clowns is going to get your finger hacked off.
Yeah, and I've already missing like a piece of this finger, so it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
We're going to figure it out.
Give it 6 months tops.
Oh, you're being very generous.
Yeah.
But yeah, so make sure you check out the YouTube page, subscribe there, Apple Podcast, subscribe, rate, review, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, Spreaker, wherever you get your podcast, you can find us there. Just type in typical Chicago fans. Maddie, it is the end of week 10. It is Monday morning. How we doing, my man? How was your weekend?
Weekend was fine. Just another one in COVID 2020. So
Seriously.
it was a lot of football, and I like you said, it's week 10. It kind of was a little bit of a punch in the face that the clock's ticking, and there's not an endless amount of football in front of us anymore, like there was it felt like for a while.
Dude, doesn't it feel like we blinked and it was like over halfway through the season?
College games are getting canceled because of COVID getting going wild.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It just sucks. I just hope we get as much as we at least the regular season and get the playoffs in the best they can, and hope everybody stays healthy. But
I know that the expanded playoffs might be coming. Like that might be cool to see. Like obviously you got to take the good with the bad and all the COVID stuff going on, but look at it as maybe an opportunity to see some more football. So we'll see.
If it keeps certain people's jobs, though, I don't necessarily want to lose a playoff game. I'll just put it that way. So
you got a point. You have a point.
I just making a 16 team or whatever, a 24 team playoff or whatever it may be in the NFL just doesn't really get me all hot and bothered. That's what I liked. That's what I liked about the traditional with the 12 teams. It meant something to get a playoff spot. Big deal. You're one of the best 6 in the NFC or AFC. That's a big deal. And
definitely, it'll be interesting. And I think they said that they're only going to expand it if games get canceled. But we'll see what happens. Who knows? Like you said, we're in week 10. We got 7 more weeks left. Got to cherish those last 7 weeks. So.
I know. It just feels like a matter of time the way this is spreading.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
And, of course, the Bears and Packers have 2 games. Like, those are the ones you want. Like, everybody wants those. Those are, prime rivalry games. And who knows?
Fortunately for the Bears, they have a bye week left still, so they can absorb a week there. So, if it means that some team later on in their schedule has to move up, I could see something like that happening. There's going to be some schedule adjustments. Goodell's made it very clear the teams have to be flexible this year and kind of, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna take what we get out of it.
Yep. That's all we can do. Just take it week by week. But let's jump into it. We had a crazy week 10.
Yeah,
Let's start off in Carolina. Carolina gets out to an early lead on Tampa. Tom Brady doesn't miss a beat. He comes back. They win the game 46-23. Double them up. I thought Carolina was better than this, but I'm apparently very.
Bridgewater got hurt, and no
Christian
McCaffrey
right.
helps to that Mike Davis can only do so much, and Bridgewater has been a saving grace for that team this year. I did not think the Panthers were going to be as competitive as they've been. The record isn't great, but they've beaten some good teams. They've played some really other good teams tough, and it's kind of a shame to see a team like that I like the direction they're headed in. Joe Brady running that offense, I think is it's a good fit for Bridgewater. So big win for the Bucs to get back on track though after last week.
It's got to be tough for a guy like Matt Rule, who is in his first year as a head coach. Like you said, they're giving teams hell a lot of weeks, and then you lose McCaffrey. He doesn't play at all. Bridgewater only plays a little bit. You got to go to a guy who was playing in the AAF or the XFL last whatever league it was, and you struggle against a good Tampa Bay team, but they definitely look vulnerable early. So we'll see how Tampa Bay can finish out. They're 7-3 right now. They feel like their record is better than they are, if I'm being honest.
They wouldn't strike a ton of fear in me if I felt like I was a contender. You know what I mean? Like if I felt like I was one of the better teams, which I'm a Bears fan, I don't feel like the Bears are one of the better teams in the NFC. So they, even though the Bears did beat the Bucs, that says enough right there. The Bears, and I don't mean to besmirch the win. The Bears haven't been that great of a team the last 5 weeks.
Right.
What it comes down to is, Brady is going to make certain plays. He's got good weapons. Antonio Brown's a good weapon. Gronk's a good weapon. Mike Evans, obviously, Godwin's going to be healthy.
Busting out a 98-yard rushing touchdown.
Right, yeah. Where'd that come from, man? It's like a semi rolling down the field there. But,
I can't believe no one caught him.
I don't think they have the defense to really just, overwhelm somebody in January. I don't know.
And their front side of that defense is good. The back side, the secondary, I don't know.
Secondary got ransacked by it's a lot of the same guys that got ransacked by Trubisky 2 years ago. So.
Yeah, that is true. Moving on in the lowest scoring game of the day, the Browns outlast the Texans 10-7 in Cleveland. Weather pretty crappy, but that's another one for Cleveland in Cleveland where they're scoring less than 20 points in a game. I don't know what to make of Cleveland. They're obviously playing in the toughest division, but Houston, you got Deshaun Watson. You're only scoring 7 points. That's embarrassing.
Is Deshaun Watson like? He hasn't been
not
that good.
As we thought.
He has not been that good, and I think he's an ultra talented quarterback. He doesn't have DeAndre Hopkins anymore.
Yeah,
David Johnson is not what he got hurt last week, obviously, and isn't there anymore. But it's one of those things where your best weapon's gone. You don't have a ton of other talents. It's not like they have a great offensive line. They don't have a ridiculous array of skill position players. So Deshaun Watson is a good quarterback. Is he the kind of guy that's going to just win games on his own? I don't think so. And it doesn't seem like he's able to.
I'm with you. I thought the same thing. It'll be interesting to see what direction they go with at the end of the year as far as their head coach and GM and all that stuff, because
Absolutely.
You do have what you consider a franchise quarterback, but you've got a ton to build around. You have to fill so many spots that Bill O'Brien just kind of left by the wayside.
In such the horrible, depleting way, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Andre Hopkins, who we're going to get to, I'm sure. Renee?
The what?
We're going to get to the give him up for David Johnson, essentially. It's just, come on.
What are we doing here? Let's move on into Detroit. Detroit jumps out to a big lead, gives up 17 points in the fourth quarter to the Washington football team, but holds on to win 30-27. What a game. That's such a Detroit Lions game if I've ever seen one, man.
Nothing more inevitable than them, giving away a lead in the fourth quarter.
Alex Smith threw for 390 yards, didn't have a touchdown.
Yep. I don't know how that happens. Kudos to him, though, after a devastating knee injury and making his way back to this level of production in the NFL is a pretty cool story. And but yeah, talk about another team that's just a downtrodden organization. McLaurin, I think, is a really good player. I think McLaurin's a really talented wide receiver for them, but outside of him, I don't think they've got a ton of skill players either.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the same on both sides of that game, Detroit and Washington.
Yeah, I think Detroit does, though. I think Swift's a good player. I
Yeah.
think Galladay's a good receiver.
When he's healthy, he's been hurt a lot.
True. Marvin Jones seems to make big plays here and there, but Stafford's the kind of guy, like, when he retires, his numbers are going to say Hall of Fame.
Oh,
his numbers are bar none going to say he should be a Hall of Famer, but he doesn't scream.
Imagine if he was on some of the more talented teams. Think about, in his career, even just in the division, the 2018 Bears, some of those Packers teams, some of those Vikings teams that went to NFC championships. Like, imagine if he got to play with some of those defenses and some of those skill players.
Well, and the problem is Detroit had some pieces for top flight defense during his tenure there too, with Ndamukong Suh there and some of the other players. DeAndre Levy was a really good player for them for a long time, and who was the D-back they had for? I'm going blank here. I don't know, but then you also think the Megatron. And you don't. That's generational talent. So it's like, how bad can you screw stuff up? And they found
right. That's such a Lions thing to happen.
Yeah.
It just continues to add to the legacy there. My Packers had the hardest time dealing with the very Jacksonville Jaguars today. Had to get a late touchdown. Finish off the game 24-20, but good God, that game was ugly. There's no easy way around that. The defense, James Robinson looked like a stud out there, and you've said it in the past, and I can't even, trot around it. This defense is not good. And
no, it's not. But I do have to give credit where credit's due on Green Bay, and the guy that over the last 3 years and what he's done for his career, and well, I shouldn't even say his career because he's still a young player 3 years ago and still is now. But the turn that Davante Adams has made to become that guy is an absolute machine.
Yeah,
and he had a touchdown called back late in the first half on a ball that Rodgers threw to him, and it was called back on a holding. And the dude just made it a ridiculous guy in traffic, and it's every week he makes catches like that. And if they would give, you shouldn't even say that because Aaron Jones is a hell of a weapon too. But
yeah,
it's like the offensive line can't gel, and if you get somebody opposite, Adams, who could be a little more consistent than like Valdez-Scantling, who had a big touchdown today. But
he had a huge day today, and that's kind of the thing I agree with you on. With Davante Adams is a talent like him being on the field opened. Marquez Valdez-Scantling had 150 yards today because Davante was getting double teamed the entire time.
Davante Adams, fun fact too, at Fresno State with Derek Carr as his quarterback too.
That's right. I forgot about that. Aaron Jones did have a tough day rushing the ball. Could never really get anything going, but I'll give it to Jacksonville. Those guys, for a team that there's no way in hell they're going to make the playoffs, they could easily just wrap it up. But their defense was out there. It seemed like they were just out there head hunting, man. They were ready to go. They were ready to hit people. It was you could tell guys that were playing for
their quarterback, that rookie quarterback,
Jake Luton. Yeah, that was.
I mean, he looks like a serviceable backup. I mean,
but doesn't every quarterback in Jacksonville lately, like Gardner Minshew? I mean, he's good.
I wouldn't say he's like a franchise quarterback by any means.
Right. I agree. But yeah,
Nick Foles and let him go, right?
Yeah, something like that. Let's move into the other noon game. The game that just keeps this NFC East just the absolute chaos, drama-filled crap that it is. The Giants beat the Eagles 27-17. This division should not be allowed to have a team make the playoffs. I'm sorry. There's no in this division that
I've got nothing to add about this horse crap game that this was. This was an absolute atrocity. Other than the fact that this was one of my picks was the Giants this week again. And I did play a money line too. So I was like, this just felt awful for Philly. This was a bad spot for them, in my opinion.
This was one that
showed. Philly has like nobody outside of Miles Sanders coming back this week. They're all their talent is gone.
Yeah,
like,
they're
everybody's hurt.
They are bad. And this was one I talked to you about with my picks about, kind of changing my strategy. I had the Giants written down. I should have just kept my strategy the way it was because it came back to bite me in the ass. But yeah, the Giants and the Eagles. Now the division leader in the NFC East is still the Philadelphia Eagles at 3-5-1 somehow, which is absolutely disgusting. Let's move into one of the afternoon games. One of the teams of the jersey I'm wearing right now. The Dolphins hold on at home to beat the Chargers 29-21. The battle of probably the two best young quarterbacks in the NFL. Still didn't see either one of them throw for over 200 yards, though. So take that for what you
want. I reject your thought. I think Joe Burrow is better than both of them, but still, that's beside the point. I will say I was wrong on Herbert. I think that guy is going to be a very good pro, and I did not think he was going to be a very good pro. Tua's got a fantastic coach, so I don't think Tua's going to be I don't think you're not going to get anything too negative out of him as long as he stays healthy. So he's going to be a long-time pro, might be a franchise quarterback. Hard to say right now. I like both of them a lot. Brian Flores, though, I keep saying it every week, and this guy is just an unbelievable head coach and what he's getting out of that roster. And it's week in, week out. They're in every game or they're winning every game, it feels like right now. And it's big plays. What was it? They got a block punt for a touchdown, right off the bat early on. Or it was a block punt. And then I think it was the next play they ran it in for a touchdown. So it's like, right off the bat, they're just getting a big play on special teams. And they're taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
You got a young team that's playing hot and getting momentum and feeling confident. You got to feel good about it.
Oh, 100%. They're fun to watch, and it's really weird to see, most people didn't give Brian Flores, even the slightest chance to be a good coach, and he's proven a lot of people wrong right now.
For a long time, Devontae Parker, 3-4 years into the league, was, a first-round wide receiver. He's a bust. Everyone was ripping on him. He couldn't stay healthy. He was a bust. Now he's a productive NFL player when he, as long as he can stay healthy, he is. I think Preston Williams got hurt. He was, really starting to show a lot of talent too. Get this team and get them in a spot in January, and they can make a little bit of a run. I don't think they could beat the Bills. They could beat anybody in the AFC North.
Yeah,
the only team they really can't. I don't think they've got the horses to play with the Chiefs. But outside of that, why not? Why not them?
I'm with you. I like it. I like it a lot, and we'll see. Because, like I said, those are two of the three. I'll give you that. Burrow is up there, but it's nice to see both of those young quarterbacks being able to kind of figure things out, especially with Herbert. I mean, he definitely does not have a whole hell of a lot of talent out there in LA. It's kind of rough, but there's still
Keenan Allen, and that's about it. You see what they did last week though too is that they're in the end zone and they're throwing to their backup tight ends and fourth and fifth receivers. You got a couple guys, Mike Williams and like I said, Keenan Allen, like those are studs, dude. Get them the ball. Feed them the rock.
Seriously.
I don't get it.
You're not wrong. It'll be fun to see what those two young guys can do going forward in the wildest game of the weekend, one of the wildest finishes we've seen in years. The Arizona Cardinals on a Hail Mary to DeAndre Hopkins from Kyler Murray beat the Buffalo Bills 32-30. I really hope no one I know had the Buffalo Bills money line because that is soul crushing.
All I can say is outside of just, I think everybody knows how crazy of a game this was. Everyone's seen the highlight at this point, I think, nonstop. But unbelievable catch by DeAndre Hopkins. Talk about another two young quarterbacks. My God, both of these guys, Josh Allen and Kyler Murray. What can you say about them? Both of them are unreal. Kyler Murray with just a beautiful throw, kept the play alive on with his feet to scramble and just kind of threw it off balance throw off the run.
Because it wasn't a great throw by any stretch, but he said just get it. He's like, Hopkins has got to be down there
It
somewhere.
was very heady, too, though, because he got rid of it with like 7 seconds left. So he still had time. Well, you know, if it was going to hit the ground, they still had another play.
Right.
So it wasn't going to be, you know, it wasn't a last-ditch effort. He just kind of, you know, tried to make something out of nothing. And you might as well throw up the ball to your best player. So
for sure. You have DeAndre Hopkins down there. Within 4 guys.
That guy is just unbelievable. What a stud.
Absurd. What a finish. 2 teams I think we're going to see in the playoffs if they continue to play the way they do.
If not this year, for a long time coming forward. Both those teams are going to be good for years.
Definitely. In the AFC West, the Las Vegas Raiders take down the Denver Broncos 37-12. The Raiders are, I hate to say it, the Raiders are kind of rolling 6-3. Take advantage of it. Look pretty good. And the best thing is right now with them, I mean, I know Denver's not any, you know, world beaters, but their defense, I mean, giving up 12 points to an interdivisional game, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, Drew Lock, 3 picks, I think, and you know, if he's going to turn
but
the
he
ball
also
over,
threw for like 200.
Yeah, they were down a lot. I don't know. It's one of those games where I think, you know, the Raiders are basically what you'd hope the Bears were. You know, that kind of scrappy,
kind of frisky
team. Yeah, and John Gruden's doing a hell of a job, and I think Derek Carr doesn't get enough credit either. And
I agree.
You know,
especially, I mean, I know the race for that quarterback position probably isn't as close as they wanted to make it sound, but like they brought in Marcus Mariota to compete for that job, and Derek Carr has handled it just as good, if not better, than anybody could have. I mean, like I said, 6-3. They're probably not going to beat out the Chiefs for that division title, but they're going to be in the playoffs as of right now.
You know, until you said that, I wouldn't have even been able to tell you who their backup was.
Oh, you forgot the Marcus Mariota?
Yeah, I did. So,
yeah,
I think Derek Carr's played really well this year, and I think the guy deserves some credit, man.
Maybe he just need a little fire lit under his ass. Who knows?
He needs a fire, but you know he's got some good players too. Waller's
definitely.
And they got a tough offensive line, a good running attack. You know, Jacobs is a stud.
Jacobs is a thoroughbred stud right now. I agree.
They've got defense that just likes to hit, and you know, fun team.
100%. And you know, I don't know if the stats would back me up on this, but I feel like when you get a new stadium or a new arena, like
in Vegas,
records, like what the records have to say. Like you have a new toy, you want to take care of it. I don't know. That's just my dumb brain.
I think they're going to get a pretty good crowd draw too. If you look at the way like the Vegas Golden Knights kind of blew up when they were the first team in the city, they were the first one on the floor, and everybody kind of flocked to them. I think when you get an NFL squad, it's going to be destination central for opposing fans too. Are going to want a road trip to that game, you know, stay in Vegas for the weekend and go to see the Bears play there or whatever. So,
most definitely.
I don't know. That place is going to be nuts when it opens back up.
Yeah. Yes. In the AFC North, the Steelers take down the Bengals 36-10. The Steelers are just rolling. And I know that the Cincinnati has their issues. They're young. They have no offensive line. Ben Roethlisberger, 333 yards. They were just swinging all over the place. That defense looks good. I mean, are they the best team in the NFL? I know they're 9-0, but are they really the best team in the NFL?
I don't think they're the best team. I definitely think they're in the conversation, though.
No,
I personally think the Chiefs are the best team. I think the Chiefs are in their own tier, and I think the next tier down, the Steelers would be in that group. I think the Steelers are in that second tier of contenders with, you know, the top flight teams in the NFC, and you know, that's all it comes down
to. My issue with Pittsburgh is they seem to play to the level of their competition way too much. You know, like they'll come out against Baltimore and they were up here, but then they go to Dallas and they play as poorly as possible. Now they didn't do it this week, but I think they had a little something to prove, which is, I mean, if you look back in history, I think Mike Tomlin's teams have had a history of kind of doing this, but the fact that they're still able to persevere and are sitting at 9-0, the only undefeated team left in the NFL, is saying something.
Great defense, though, too. Great defense. So that never disappears. So as long as their defense is going to keep showing up every week, they're going to be in every game.
Definitely. The Seattle Seahawks defense forgot that they had a game today. They got absolutely housed by the Los Angeles Rams in Los Angeles. Jared Goff, 302 yards. They had 3 running backs over 20 yards. They were just slinging it out there. And dude, I don't know. There's some weeks I think that Seattle is one of the best teams in the NFC, and then they come out like this week and do that. They're hard to get a grip on.
DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Russell Wilson, they keep you in every game, just like I was kind of mentioning, like good defenses do. But their defense can take them out of a lot of games too, because they just get run up and down the field, just dragged by their collar all game long. And it's big play after big play too. It's not just like little, it's not like they just get run all over. They get just scorched in the air.
Yeah.
However anybody wants to do it. And it's just weird to see with Seattle such a weak defense. It's kind of like
their leading rusher though was Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And
that's not gonna be good.
No. Tyler Lockett, 66 yards. DK Metcalf, 2 catches for 28 yards. Had less yards than Greg Olsen.
Did not have a real good week, but when you're matched up with Jalen Ramsey for 60 minutes, things don't usually work out.
There's a reason they pay Jalen Ramsey all the money.
Right.
Definitely. And then the last game before the Sunday night, the Saints take care of the 49ers in New Orleans, 27-13. Is Drew Brees hurt? I saw when I was watching at the end, Jameis Winston was in there near the end of the game. Did he get hurt?
They're saying it's ribs from a hit. Brees was apparently saying that he wanted to go back in, but I don't know. A lot of people are speculating shoulder, ribs. Who knows? I think it's an injury, but I think there's also some Drew Brees is playing a little bit ineffective, so maybe they need to get him a little bit of a rest here and there where they can't do so. Because I don't know. I think you want.
I get that. But they're 7-2. Like
right.
Is Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill that much of an upgrade that you're going to be 8-1 or 9-0? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But I think you've got to see what that element brings to that offense, because they've got some studs on offense that need to kind of be able to. You need to be able to start unloading on Michael Thomas and Kamara.
Yeah,
some of those guys. So I think Traquan Smith got hurt too, though.
Oh, okay. Yep. I think you're right. They had some big. I mean, Kamara had a really nice game. I mean, he only had 15 rushing yards.
That guy's awesome.
83 receiving yards. That's absurd.
He's so good. He's so good.
Michael Thomas, 2 catches for 27 yards. You got, like you said, you got to kind of open that thing up and see what happens.
Is Jameis the right guy to do it? Who knows? But he's got a great arm. So
we'll see. We'll see. Pick 6,
wow.
James.
Wow. Lamar Jackson,
we are recording this.
Unbelievable run. Oh my God. Save a first down too. Jeez. Guy's unbelievable.
We are recording this currently during the Sunday night game. The Ravens are trailing the Patriots 23-17. We were talking about this earlier, Matt. You should have seen it. It's a trap game. But because Bill Belichick is not going to let the Ravens walk all over him. And I feel stupid that I said that on the Thursday night show in predicting Ravens -7. Obviously, retrospect is a hell of a thing. But
I did too. Oh, no, there's a fumble on the snap. Unbelievable.
No, of course.
Oh, horrible. That's a 15-yarder. That's got to be a 15-yarder. You can't dive into the quarterback. What a dumb penalty.
From the Patriots?
Yeah. The fumble.
You're not used to seeing undisciplined stuff like that out of a Bill Belichick team.
They didn't call it. But there was a fumble, and Lamar fell on the ball. Linebacker came diving in helmet first to Jackson on the ground, but they didn't call it. So
good gravy. And then, of course, tonight we have the Bears Vikings. We've talked about it on the podcast. That'll be coming out. The Bears handing over play calling duties to their offensive coordinator,
Bill Lazor. Yeah.
Bill Lazor, yep. And so we will see if that has a big impact tonight. It'll be this is a do or die game, and I'm not saying this, not being a Bears fan. You guys have said it all week. This is do or die. You go to 5-5. Yeah, you might have a shot to get in there, but at the end, maybe that 8 seed or the 10 seed if they go to it, whatever the case is. But do you really want to be in the playoffs if it comes down to that? Probably not.
The problem is too, there's a lot of good records in the NFC right now. So
yeah,
you could get 10 wins and not be one of the top 6 or 7 teams right now.
which
maybe
is
17.
wild.
Yeah, it really. But you look at you got the Rams, the Seahawks, the
Cardinals. Yeah, you're right. Looking at it now, and then the NFC South is kind of the same thing.
Right, and you've got Green Bay, who's 7 wins now, and
Mm-hmm.
so it's there's not a lot of bullets left, and the East gets one automatically. So
unfortunately,
yeah, by default. So,
I would love Roger Goodell to just come out tomorrow morning and just be like, "Listen, we're not letting anybody in the NFC East." And sorry,
what you really want to see for the Bears tomorrow night, or excuse me, tonight, is just a little bit of discipline attack. Get the ground game going where you should. Don't always run on first down. It's okay to pass on first down. It's okay to play aggressively a little bit. You got to find a way to get the offensive line to get some time for Foles when you can, and you might have to start tailoring the offense a little bit of quick hitter. The 3-step drop and go. You got wide receivers who are big and strong, can take a hit. Mooney's good, downfield when you need a shot.
And if I'm not mistaken, is Lamar Miller going to be activated for tonight's game?
Sounds like it. It sounds like it.
We'll see if he gets any touches.
Not gonna be. I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Really a good thing. We will have the recap on tomorrow's show, though.
It's Kirk Cousins in prime time, so you just got to hope that the defense is going to take advantage of the mistakes.
Hopefully, the last time he played in prime time was in the Seattle game when they lost on the last second there. So hopefully, and he played well that game. So hopefully, he kind of takes this one off.
One thing for the Bears is they don't have Seattle's D, so I'll say that.
That's true. It's very true. People forget that. No, they don't. Yeah. They shouldn't anyway. On the other side of things, Dustin Johnson runs away with the Masters, shoots 18 under. Good 20. God. 20 under. I'm sorry. 20 under.
Yeah.
Holy hell. 5-shot victory. Wasn't even close. Obviously gets the kiss from Paulina at the end.
Not a bad day for DJ. We'll just put it that way.
No, not at all.
It wins the second major in convincing fashion, like you said. He was laser focused today, and anytime that you thought there might be a door opening for someone to make a run, he just hit the shot he needed to. Was sinking big birdie putts. It just felt like he was never in danger of on the back nine at all of a bogey. It felt like every hole he was right where he wanted to be. Just calm, cool, collected, and just played 18 perfectly just to seal the deal, and take his time walking up. Cool story for him too. He's overcome some of the personal stuff, some self-inflicted, some just people need to mind their own business a little bit.
Definitely.
Too. And I think it's a cool story for him to like one of the most talented golfers on the planet getting your second major. You start under a multiple major category, and that's when you start kind of becoming a little bit of one of the quote greats of the game.
Yeah,
it's always a cool thing.
100%.
So young too. That guy just laces the ball too. Like today, when he was off the tee today, he was just boom, 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 boom.
I watched on the 18th. I mean, he just ripped that shot down the fairway. I'm just like, dude, there's an absurd amount of money I would pay to be able to hit the ball like that.
Well, it's guys like him and the way he was playing today that make the tracer perfect for people like us to understand. Like for just a normal, just everyday dude like us to be able to watch the tracer. And when you see it, just having that slight little draw and just a little bit of just that you can tell every time it was exactly what he wanted to do. And it was I think at 18, he couldn't have been more down the middle. Like it was just
it was
drive, and it summed up the day perfectly. He was right where he wanted to be every hole.
It felt like he was just throwing darts out there after laser focused. He couldn't hit a bad shot, it felt like. And then, of course, the big new Tiger takes a 10 on hole 12, I believe it was. Yikes. I mean, he finished his 40th. But that I'll be honest here, Matt. That made him feel a little bit more human and not like the god that Tiger Woods is considered a lot. Because a 10 on a hole like that is something that I have definitely done before, and I have not played courses nearly as hard as Augusta, but it definitely humanized Tiger a little bit there. Just wish it wouldn't have happened on day 4.
Yeah, it's a tough break, but I still think he's one of the best iron players left in the game, still as it is. And when you get down to it, if you have an aspect of your game that's like that, and when he putts well, he kind of builds momentum up, and he really starts getting hot. And it's all going to come down to that. If he's going to putt well on a 4-day stretch with his iron play and a little bit of accuracy off the tee, and that guy, he very well could win another major. I don't think it's that out of the question the way his game is still. He's still good enough to win another one.
I mean, he just proved it, like 16 months ago when he won the
right.
Masters. I mean, he's not.
Even if you look on, on his round one, he was in the hunt right off the bat. Maybe 2 shots off the pace right after the first round. So it's not like he's like overwhelmed by the talent. There's just so many now that it just makes it harder in that capacity.
Definitely. I'll wrap things up. Of course, I couldn't go a daily show without having a wacky web story, and it kind of takes back to
Boomy. Do you have a wacky web story for us? Let me get that.
Matt,
I got
darn right I do. There we go. We couldn't do the story without the proper intro. So, this also harps back to my story on Thursday where we talked about a stolen Bigfoot statue. And this is taking us all the way over to Athens, Greece, where obviously they have some of the greatest history, the statues, the buildings, all that goes on in ancient Greek history. But they were going through a sewage system, I guess you would call it, and they found a statued head of the ancient Greek god Hermes in fairly good condition in this modern sewage system. And they believe that the statue is from before the time that Jesus was around. This a 2,300-year-old statue from 300 BC. It's obvious, but what in God's name is a 2,300-year-old statue head, not just the statue head, doing in the sewer system?
I need to know who put it there. I got to know who's responsible for this.
They have no clue. It says that they said it was found Friday. It appears to be over 2,300 years old. It's either from the late 4th century, early 3rd. Depicts Hermes in his mature age. The ministry said.
Do you think it had something to do with a Greek god putting it there for him? Like just kind of making a statement?
I mean, if they have no suspects, that's the only thing that makes sense, right?
Yeah, like Apollo got pissed,
threw his head in the sewer system. Right. Now things are adding up.
I think it makes more sense than it just landing there. So
I mean, there's really no right answers here, but there's also no wrong answers. So let's go ahead. We're going to go with that. Greek mythology is back, children.
Yeah, it's hot in the streets.
Yeah, the kids are saying.
Yeah. Poseidon,
love it.
Well, god of water, right? Was it Poseidon, the god of water?
That is, I believe that's correct. I should know that, but I'm not 100%. There's too many.
Way too many,
and then it rolls over with the Roman ones that they're like the same gods but different names. Very confusing.
Odyssey or what was the
Odysseus?
One? Odysseus, yeah. Yep. There we go.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, Matt, you got anything else before we wrap things up here on Monday?
No, just shout out Big Z. Hope the tooth gets better on Monday after he gets into the dentist, and that's never fun.
Pump that boy up with some Novocaine.
Oh yeah. Get him some good high dosage of some milligrams of a painkiller afterwards to soften the edge up and be good to go in a day or two.
We will be back with a regular show tomorrow, Tuesday morning after the Bears Vikings Monday night game.
Sounds like Pigoy's jumping on too, I think.
I believe we will have Pigoy back, so we will see you guys Tuesday morning. But make sure you follow our sponsors, 26shirts.com, Chicago. Head over to their website, T-shirts, hoodies, hats, flags, whatever you need. Use promo code Typical Chicago Fans for 15% off your order. Make sure you let them know that we're sending you there. Get your Christmas shopping done nice and early. Like I said, 26shirts.com/Chicago for a shirt like this one I got right up here. Promo code Typical Chicago Fans, 15% off. You can follow me at Boomy TCF, Matt at schools_01, the Twitter main page at Typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You can find us all in there. Just go to those, whatever website you prefer, type it in, follow us there, subscribe, Apple Podcast, subscribe, rate, review, Spotify, Spreaker, Google Podcast, follow us there. Anything else, Maddie?
I don't think so, man. I think
Well,
we
hey,
hit it all.
have a beautiful Monday. Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Great week coming up, man.
Let's go.
Well, this was the TCF Morning Show, Monday, November 16th. We love you all.
Peace.